Hey, what's going on, guys? It's God Professor O coming through the dose of that good. Yo, come everywhere like broken glass, I'm around like a circle. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. Today, I want to talk about they are a virus. Now, what do I mean by that? They are a virus. First and foremost, I need you to understand, I don't know what brought it upon me. Maybe God has given me the revelation or the idea more so. It came upon me. I was just thinking one day, I was just like, you know what? The enemy acts and behaves just like a virus or like a bacteria. Maybe because I was coming down with a little bit of some type of, indigestion or mucus buildup, whatever the case may be. I'm very healed and blessed. Thank you. Appreciate that and all that good stuff. But I was thinking that they are a virus. Now, what do I mean by they are a virus? You got to realize you're dealing with entities, dementors, as I call them, from Harry Potter, the one that just want to suck the life and fun and happiness out of everything. These individuals exist and they are like a virus. Why? Because they literally act and behave to suck and destroy and fuck up every good thing that you would want to have happen in your life, or every good thing that you would want or think about. They just don't like happiness. They don't like calmness. They don't like stuff that are just genuinely good. And to me personally, the only thing that came to mind, if any type of comparison, would be like a virus. A virus has no type of personality, no type of ingenuity, anything of any type of self-representation of individuality. Literally, all it has is its job. And its job is to destroy. First, its job is to find something to latch onto, to duplicate itself. And once it hits its desired duplication or enough duplication to be able to spread in a rapid rate, it destroys the bond the cell that it attached to break out completely. That is simply what bacteria is, or that simply is what a virus is. And that's exactly what the enemy tries to do, if you really think about it, right? The enemy would literally looks for one of God's elect to try and pour its insecurities or create insecurities into God's elect. If that happens, then you already seeked and found some type of living cell to latch onto. And then it wants it to read itself, read its code, pretty much read its genetic build. Meaning like, all right, don't read the good book, read this. This is what's gonna work. This is going, whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, if God's elect decides to do that, it'll start reading its code and then it'll be duplicated itself in this code, meaning going against the word, going against who they truly are, etc., so forth, right? Whatever the case may be. Instead of being of the light, they're becoming of the kingdom of darkness. And what happens after that? Once it started duplicating and replicating itself, meaning it's going out there, turning others or turning itself into whatever the case may be, some evil bastard. Boom, bang, boom, boom, boom. The cell is probably, or the host or the virus more so, has seeked and found its desired duplication amount, and it destroys the living host. Therefore, it is what it is. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. That was a very long-winded intro, right? But it's all good because I'm sexy and I had to get to it. Why? Because this new analogy is just, I haven't done my due diligence currently on virology, because that's something very new study for me. And usually I'm really quick with it and quick worded with it because but at the same time, it brought so much interest to me, and I found a new interest that I would be doing my due diligence on. So more so, I'll be using that as an analogy moving forward because I like how it is. And there's so much information on viruses. There's even bacteria that helps. Whatever the case may be, I digress. Very interesting information. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. I got the handy dandy notebook in the spot. Please do not make it hot. Who writes in spirit clearly, boys to does. Don't hate me because you ain't me. Maybe you need levitate, meditate, never deviate or devastate. Hate, no, appreciate, yes, because I'm the best. No stress, no less. And I'm sexy. Saying, I think you can. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. There are those entities that exist and cannot exist without you. They cannot move, grow, or produce energy on its own. Virus. Right? Isn't that? Or a dementor. Can you believe that? It's such a great comparison. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down this round now. Cell takeover. Listen, I want to explain a little bit more of just the basic nature of a virus and what it literally does. I explained it in the intro, but I got a little bit more to break down. Now, this is what I'm saying right here is what I learned off of Google search, whatever the case may be. I haven't did my further due diligence to go and do mine on more reputable sites, etc., so forth. But who doesn't use Google search anyway, which I do always suggest. Please, if you're ever going to use any search engine, use multiple search engines to find different forms of information that can attach to give you a greater idea, or more so a broader idea, to kind of come to a single point of an understanding. If you understand what I mean. Like, you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Compare all the facts, and then you get a real, truly basic understanding. Because when you're dealing with, in the medical field, as I like to delve into and really get some understanding of, you know, how things operate in the inside of the body, etc., so forth. When it grows from facts, it literally starts becoming more theoretical. And then when you're dealing in the land of theory, in the realm of theory, then it's more so about opinion based on how these physicians and doctors are perceiving things based on past information, which is information that you can gain. So that means if this information has been written down throughout the years and you can be able to gain some type of intellect from it, then you'll be able to kind of land that plane into some understanding that you may even have an answer that they haven't even pondered on. Anyway, I digress. You know I'm long-winded. Anyway, it's a very new topic, and I'm enjoying it as I'm learning. So let's get down to this brown now. Cell takeover would be the first process of what they do. It forces a living cell to read. Oh, no. Excuse me. Look, I'm moving so fast. Can you see how I'm moving? Anyway, anyhow, it's actually inert outside a host. That's the beginning part. And then there are entities that exist and cannot exist without you. They may grow or produce energy. They cannot move or grow or produce energy on its own. Then the next would be cell takeover. Forces a living cell to read its viral code and build copies of the virus. Wow, right? So it latches onto a cell. This is what enemy does exactly, following the same procedure. This is what I think it was really compared to a virus, because if you start to think about it, it's just here to destroy. That's all a virus does. It has no other meaning to do. Is just want to see, kill, and destroy, and replace the original with its code. Like, literally. Like, what? Why would you do that? You bad bastard. What's wrong with you? Thank God for vaccinations and medicine. Can you believe that? Oh, gotta love it. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this brown now, right? And build copies of itself. I already explained that. Destruction often damages or kills the whole cell when new viruses copies break out to spread. Wow. So once it hits its desired duplicated rate, that has made enough copies of itself, whatever the case may be, or pretty much when the enemy came in and did enough damage, you'd be like, oh wow, ooh, hey, you did that? Like, yo, I'm telling you, because you got to realize, God, the reason why the enemy always attacks God's elect, especially because God's elect has a gift. And we all have been given gifts and calling a God, but when God's elected, that's what's called, many are called, few are chosen. So when the ones that are chosen, they have a little bit more oomph to their gifts, and they can really gather around. They have a lot of effect on this realm. So when the enemy chooses God's elect and he goes after those, oh yeah, they can do a lot for the kingdom of darkness, because they can do a lot for the kingdom of light. It's just all about the free will that God has produced in us and given in us. And it's like, what are you going to choose? So he tried to sway. And God, unfortunately, when God's elect has been swayed to the evil darkness, they do detrimental damage, because their gift is so powerful and it's so God-given, it's so powerful and beautiful that it can be used against. And when it's going against the grain, it's going to go against the grain, like full wholeheartedly, and it's going to do damage because it has that effect, it has that strength, it has that power. It's just what it is, right? So anyway, when that happens and they duplicate it, be like, yo, the enemy gonna be like, yo, you did that? Yo, look at you over there spreading? What? I couldn't do it like you did. I just couldn't do it like, but yo, that's it. I have to end that. And unfortunately, that's when you've been operating in sin for so long, because sin has been destroyed. Sinning is the issue. So when you've been sinning on a consistent basis, that became your new nature. And now it became your new nature, genuinely going against the Spirit of God, which has already been given upon you. So you're going to get yourself and what God has already produced in you and around you and all around, whatever. It gets really deep. I'm not going to get too much into that. But that's what happens when you're literally making a choice by your actions, when you continue to sin. Then God is like, yeah, I can't do nothing with you because you're choosing to do this, etc. and so forth. And then unfortunately, my people should perish for lack of knowledge. The enemy succeeds, and then he knocks out and wipes away God's elect, along with all the individuals that God's elect has infected. Wow, really messed up, right? I'm telling you, beware. The enemy cometh not but to seek, kill, and destroy. But I should give you life and have life more abundantly. Jesus is so cool for saying that. Can you dig what I'm saying? I think you can. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. If this doesn't sound like the enemy, then please provide a better analogy. really, please do. Find a better analogy for me, because I'm all about using analogies to compare to give me a better understanding of what I'm dealing with, etc. So for when you're dealing with spiritual warfare, or overall living a good life. Now, I'm never ever telling here to advocate being sin conscious. You're always gonna watch out, like, oh, this, that, and the third. No, not at all. But it's all about being aware, being cautious, so you can be able to conduct yourself in a proper manner and have an understanding, and you can conduct yourself in a more competent way. You dig what I'm saying? I think you can. Anyway, anyhow, let's get down to this round now. What am I writing here? All right, this to tempt you to convert into their nature rather than your natural God code. Yes, it tries to tempt you to adapt to their nature instead of your natural God code. Because it's all about rewriting. Like, you know what I mean? The enemy comes, or the virus more so will come and try and take over. And how does it take over? It starts spreading itself. This is when you start feeling sick, or whatever the case may be. Because think about it, when you're in, the difference of being in sin or doing sin or whatever the case may be, you have to realize that in certain cases, it's a tricky virus because it feels good then. It won't feel good later. You know what I mean? In the beginning, yeah, it's all good hooting and you're out there doing boogaloo, all that. But it doesn't feel good later. And you reaped so much that now when it's time to, like, you sowed so much negative that now when you may try to transition into positive, you're gonna reap all your negative back. All that has to come back somewhere. Like, you was planting that, you was giving all that out. You was producing a negative garter, you bad bastard. It's just what it is. So when that happens, then God forbid it, hopefully you can be saved before that happens, and not for anyone that catches the vid. All that, you'll be creating new creatures, but don't get it twisted. The enemy will definitely try to come back and attack you. And if it can't get to you, it's going to try and get somewhere around you to get you to move, to get you back in that state of mind. It wants you to vibrate at a low rate, because remember, the higher you vibrate, the farther you get away from them. You could be in the same room with somebody and y'all could be light years away from each other. Literally. Like, y'all, just because y'all occupying in the same space don't mean we're occupying the same mentality. Oh, I like that. I'm talking right now. You see how I'm saying this? Wow, so cool, right? Anyway, that's just what it is. So when you're dealing with individuals that are not operating on the same energetic level, you got to realize it's going to be a point in time where you may even come across as being offensive to them. And that isn't, you're not offending them personally, you're offending the evil entities that dwell in their mind, that dwell in their body. You know what I mean? You got to realize when people people could be hosting a whole slew of demons inside of them. And I don't really want to get into that, the demonology and hocus pocus crap like that, but these things do it. There's a spiritual warfare happening. But you got to realize enemies, like, for instance, like, you got to realize the 7 deadly sins, those are demonic entities, like wrath, gluttony, rage, or wrath, gluttony, I don't think rage is one, wrath, gluttony, envy, sloth. These are like demonic personalities, because if you see anyone that ever dwelled in that type of realm or in that type of trait, look at their persona. Their persona is taken upon as that type of way of life. It's a persona. And if it's a persona, it has an opinion. It has a whole realm of that exists. And if it does, that means it's a demon in its own self. So when you're dealing with individuals that carry a little bit of those traits, or even a trait of that, when you're operating on a higher level of vibration, you will be irritating those things because it can't be around it. It doesn't want to be around it. It doesn't comprehend it. It doesn't complement it. It doesn't complete with one another. It just goes against it. It clashes. But here's the thing that's even more spectacular. It's not actually clashing. They're not clashing like this. It's clashing against it because it can't get away from it. So now it looks at it as a threat. Like, yo, what is this? This is not, it just can't. But if you resist, this is why it says resist the devil and the devil will flee from you. Why does it say the devil will flee? It doesn't say the devil will make preparations. It doesn't say the devil will walk away. It says the devil will flee. It will run. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's so surprising. Like, it will flee from you. Why? Because at the same time, once it's going against God's code, whatever the case may be, and if it doesn't, it is not able to it's not able to revert it, invert it, or whatever the case may be, change it. Now it's setting off alarms. It's messing with the kingdom of God. That's setting off bells in heaven. Like, hold on, what's going on? Whoa, whoa, what's this? Oh, you going against God as elect? Are you crazy? Do you know what's going on? You know what's happening? You know who this is? You know who he's protected by? And you're actively doing this? Oh no, we about to wax that ass. We got to tax you. You bugging out. Then that's when the angels start coming down. This is why you got to speak the right things, say the right things. Be patient. Have faith and set yourself, because when you're operating in that realm and when you're operating in those traits, you're giving space for God to be able to work with you. You're giving space for God to be able to work in that area. Because now it's like, oh, all right. Oh, this is what you. Oh, so you're attacking him. What did he do? Oh, he showed you love, and you're still attacking him. Nah, see, you're just evil. Boom, 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 boom. It's just what it is. Like, and it's. I don't be saying it like that, but just understand. When the more you operate in God's kingdom, and the more you operate in kindness, peace, love, long suffering, patience, etc., so for fruits of the spirit, you're giving room for God to be able to operate. And when you're giving room for God to be able to operate, trust me, your guardian angels are not unemployed at all. Like, there's a lot of God's elect out there that have unemployed guardian angels. They just sitting around like, like I got him, it's my boy right here, but he don't be saying the right things. And then they go, look, all right, look at the shorty. She about to walk by. Watch. He about to look at that. He gonna look at it. Look, he gonna look. He look. You know what I'm saying? But once you start operating in God's way and you start operating on the path, then you're giving room for God to be able to work in there. He could be able to do things. He could send angels to your rescue. He could send angels in that environment. You know what I mean? He could be around the area and secure it because you're giving space for it to happen. A soft answer turns away wrath, while harsh words stirs up anger. When a man's ways pleases the Lord, he makes even his enemies be at peace with him. It's just what it is. It has to align to God's code. God's code reigns supreme across all the realm. It's just what it is. Now, the enemy is not going to admit that, but the enemy is going to adhere to it. The enemy has no choice but to adhere to it. This ain't no, what? Like, the enemy ain't got no, like, what are you talking about? It's kind of like when Miss Pearly came and seen Craig and Day Day, he said, well, I hope you got the rent money this, that, and third. He said, what? Why you always coming down here harassing us with that big old wolf? You don't even own the place. You just the manager. You ain't make the note. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you got it's there. It's funny. Excuse me. I was watching Friday after next. Whatever. I digress. You know I'm long-winded. Let's get down to this round now. But that's what I'm saying. Speak the right thing. Do the right thing so you can give space for God to be able to operate in your situation. All right. If they succeed into consenting to their code, they will no longer need the original. Being that you made multiple alterations of yourself within the environment, the virus has enough example of the original to copy. Now, this is what happens when one of God's elect, say he's not prepared and he's been swayed by the virus or swayed by the enemy, and he's doing the enemy's work, whatever the case may be. Oh, excuse me. Doing the enemy's work, whatever the case may be. Operating in that type of way of life, operating in that perspective. Literally, as he's doing that, he's literally creating negative copies of himself in that environment, which he would do in a negative realm. And it's happening. He doesn't know it, because at the same time, you got to realize once you have that, the anointing on you is always going to be there. It's just, how are you relaying it? If you're relaying it in a negative way, then it just becomes an influence. It just becomes, oh yeah, that guy is just, it's something about him. Like, he just has a lot of influence. He has a lot of charisma. He's got the it factor, whatever the case may be. That's worldly terms. But when you're dealing in the kingdom of God, then you start saying, oh, he's blessed, or he's anointed, or something about them. That's usually a common term, because they don't have no worldly term to put on it. And the only time they can put a worldly term to it is if that's all it is. But anytime they experience, it's something new, but it's the same, and it's something they can't put their finger on it, because there's certain experiences, when you experience it, there's words that can't express what you're experiencing. They just try to give you enough words to lead you to that point so you can see what they're saying. But I digress. But when it's happening in a negative sense, then you start hearing things like, yeah, he's got a lot of influence, or he's very persuasive, or it's just something about them. They'll use that as well, but then usually a worldly term will go there. So when the negativity start happening, then it's so much is happening. The gods elect is spread himself so wide. Once all did so much damage through his gift, not even knowing it, so many versions and copies of himself that he coded and just gave out due to the fact that the virus has been operating within there. And that's literally how it operates. Like when the enemy is using God's elect to go out there, go ahead and influence them. Go out there and bring them to the kingdom of darkness, whatever the case may be, by going out there, swaying them through foolishness and nonsense. And then that's would be the copies of them, because you're influencing others to do likewise like you. Next thing you know, once enough of that has happened, and then he probably, through all the influence, he probably influenced a few of other God's elect, because God's elect easily can influence other God's elect because their gifts will be attracted to one another. It'll be something about them. They'd be like, it's something about, because God recognizes God. And being that the gift came from God, God's gift will recognize God's gift in another anointed individual. So if that individual is out there, and he's been swayed to the wayside, and he's doing wayside actions, once he may come across against a few of other God's elect, and they may not even be prepared, and then they'll maybe swayed negatively. And if they're swayed negatively, well, guess what? Once the enemy has got enough of God's elect, because think about it, he just invested. So when the virus on the enemy had invested in one God's elect, and then that God's elect went out and came back with a handful of more other God's elect, oh man, look at all this. I don't really need you no more, because I'm about to make especially when that gift is running dry, because once it's God's gift cannot operate in negative for too long. It won't, it'll be tainted. And once God's gift is tainted, it's no longer God's gift anymore, because you drained it out. It has no source where it's coming from. The reason why the gift and calling on God are irrevocable, because God can't take it back. It becomes yours. But if you're not connected with the kingdom of God and with the Father of lights, then it won't be able to be rejuvenated. It won't be new. It won't feel fresh anymore. So when individuals come and they be like, this dude's tired, you know what I mean? Like this is whack. Like he ain't spinning right. You know what I mean? Like he's stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Old blockhead. You know what I'm saying? Like it becomes stale. It don't feel new. It don't feel fresh no more. And the beautiful thing about God's gift, when it's coming from a genuine place, it's always going to feel fresh. It's always going to feel original. It doesn't matter what it is or how it is. It's going to be, many will copy, many will be inspired, copy and try and be the same, whatever the case may be, but it will never feel the same because it's not connected to the source. Just what it is. So when that happens, remember that gift going to run dry. But through that gift, before it ran dry, look at what all the enemy has got from the God's gift. You know what I'm saying? Like from the God's elect. Came back with a handful of more God's elect. You're like, yo, you did that. Now he ran dry. All right, I'm done with you now. Boom. He does whatever, probably kills him off, whatever the case may be, because he already sowed so many negative seeds. And look what happened. Now you got a few more God's elect, and then he rich, wash, and repeat in that order. Spiritual warfare, yo, you better stay prayed up. This ain't game. You bugging out. What you thought this was? Anyhow, let's get down to this round now. If they succeed, it's the third of that. I've read that already. So we're gonna move on. Is that it? I think that's it, but I'm gonna repeat that one more because I kind of strayed off topic. I've been real long-winded today. But you know I'm sexy and I'm talking so right. Anyway, I'm gonna say it one more time. If they concede in converting you to their code, they will no longer need the original, being that you made multiple alterations of yourself within the environment. The virus has enough example of the original to copy. Enough of it. Can you imagine that? Wow. This is something. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it right there. Again, yeah, that's it. Again, this message is for the adept out there, for the master, the expert, the pro fish and the e-fish and the self-fishing. The one that's always doing it and never losing it, that's growing, that's glowing, that's going at all times. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And remember, speak good, do good, see good, because when it is good, it's all good. Can you dig it? And for the haters out there that love looking at your boy, make sure you look on my good side because you know that I'm sexy. Can you dig what I'm saying? I think you can. Peace, love, and light. I'll see you guys in the next video.